part of the is government or state aids. I would like to have Alina Nassar to tell us about she has the capacity of bringing the whole Central America to our attention. So Alina, the floor is yours on this aspect.
Thank you, Gonzalo, and good morning and good afternoon to everyone attending this webinar. Well, we have different situations in Central America. Different jurisdictions or different governments have addressed this crisis in different ways. We have, for example, Nicaragua, which has not basically closed operations and still running on a normal basis, their airports and basically all the businesses there. From all the other countries in the region, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Costa Rica have closed borders to international travel except for humanitarian specific flights. The reaction has also been different from every country in terms of how they support or intend to support the industry. We must understand the economical situation of our governments, which is not necessarily a situation in which they can afford to put a huge amount of money on specific industries or sectors. So there have been some tax cuts or tax moratoriums implemented in some countries, such as Honduras, which apply generally for any business, as well as some support from the government to avoid dismissals of employees. Of course, one of the main issues with the crisis is that many employees have lost their jobs or have been furloughed and are not receiving remuneration at this point. Specifically in Costa Rica, I think it has been one of the governments that have been more active in terms of trying to support the aviation industry. Of course, you must understand that our country relies a lot on tourism, and the crisis just came during the high season of tourism visitation in Costa Rica. Last year, we had 3 million visitors coming to the country in 2019, and what we are seeing now, of course, is that there will be a considerable reduction of those visits for many reasons. Of course, from the loss of confidence to fly again, which is going to be hopefully recovered at some point in the upcoming months, to the financial crisis that has hit everyone worldwide. So the government has been trying to address this in terms of reactivating the demand for travel to Costa Rica. And the ICT, the Costa Rica Tourism Institute, has been or approved moratoriums on the payment of the ICT taxes that are collected on the sale of and the purchase of air tickets. Besides that, the government and the airport concessionaire have been working on providing moratoriums on certain services provided at the airport. Of course, if there are no flights other than cargo or humanitarian flights, the operation has been reduced. So these concessions or discounts are applied to leases of offices at the airport terminal. They also apply to commercial leases, of course, in the terminal, and discounts in the fares that will be applied to or collected from airlines once our operations are resumed. Of course, we would like to see, as an industry, as an airline industry, would like to see a stronger or a more robust package of incentives to put our aircrafts in Costa Rica or in any destination. And as you well mentioned, there is a lot of competition as to where these aircraft are going to fly and who's going to get the capacity and who's going to get the seats, which are going to be reduced. We heard from ALTA that the expectation is that we will be back in the region as Latin America to the figures that we had, or the traffic that we have in 2009, I'm sorry. So, and it's going to be 3 or 4 years, 2025, until we basically recover the levels that we'd had in just last year in 2019. So we're facing a slow recovery of the industry with the dilemma of how to try to speed it up with very few resources from the government, and the need to bring those aircraft back in Costa Rica, not only for tourism, but for business travel as well. And that's the same for the region. So what we see and what we're worried about in this area is the lack of incentives. And I'm not saying that the governments are reluctant to give them, but of course, as I mentioned, there is a limitation on the base of what they can afford. But we're hoping for a strong recovery, hopefully not very long in the future.
Thank you, Alina, for your introduction to Central America.